ציון במשפט תפדה בשווה בצדקה. It says over here, this is the Dibra Maschel from the Alter Rebbe and Kotetere Dvorim. So he starts off with the same Dibra Maschel. He's going to get back to this posuk at the end of the Maimer, I think.
No, in the end of the sea, we get that one.
Yeah, he mentions, yeah. But he's mentioned, come on, Siftes, yeah. Yeah. Tzim, b'mishpat tipad v'shaveh b'tzedakah. So the parish is two levels of tzim and shaveh. One is b'mishpat, one is b'tzedakah. Maybe Ad Marzog Kotetere the Ramas Chazes and Alter Rebbe brings in the Kotetere with this beginning. B'tchilosei Mashakosov Hoyad Varmela Shenechim Tzav Hayim. So he brings over there in the Maimer, it says in the pasuk that these words that I tell you, Asher Nechim Tzav Hayim, which I tell you today, Shezekoy Al Kol Yem. It's referring to every single day. Ki b'chol Yem Yibenach Kachadoshim. Because every day a person is supposed to see the Torah as new, which means that today was commanded. And he explains in the Maimer, in order to come to this level, and every day should be like new. Why there is bonus by thinking about this pasuk itself. And these are the words that I command you today. What should you think about? So he says, the creation of all worlds, this is including all the elements, still, everything is from Malchus. It's only a ray of the Eibishter. It's not Elazulas. It's not the way he's for himself. It's the way he relates to someone else. It's Or Levad. But through doing mitzvahs in this world, we bring down Atzmos. Who's Anechi? So this is what it says in the pasuk. By thinking about the Sinyan, we'll come to the union of Chol Yimenach Kachadosh. It's more precious doing tshuva ma'asetev in this world more than kol chay elam habo. So he says ki elam habo she'nani miziv hashchina. Elam habo is only a noah from ziv hashchina. Ziv bolvad, it's only a ray of the Eibishter. Tshuva ma'asetev b'elam hazeh hu amshoch za'atzmus. We get the essence of the Eibishter. Zo asher nechim tzav hayim. That's what it says also. It could have said zo yidvar me'el asher nechim tzavcha. It continues to say hayim davka hayim laseis u'machal kabel schorim. Today we do the mitzvahs. Tomorrow we get the schar. The whole schar, the mitzvahs in the world to come. This is including, like he's going to say later, it's including the Elam Atchiyah, is only a ziv. It's Muzun the Shaila. If it's only a ziv, how could it be a schar for the Aveda today, which is Mamsh Chatzmus? It's Muzun the Shaila. The Dargis in the Elam Abba, whatever. Akaponim, he says, Vaidei kima mitzvah Elam Hazeh, Yem Laseis, Mamshichem Atzmus. Mashenkan, through doing Torah mitzvahs today, we get Atzmus. We get Amshach Atzmus. So this is the difference between today and L'mocher L'kabel Schom. Therefore it says, Asher Nechi Mitzavka. When you have a cash with a Nechi, Hayim Davke. Idea is bonus. The person thinking about when you do Nechi Mitzavka, and it's Hayim. The one is you have a cash with Atzmus Davke Hayim today. So they came with Hayim B'Elam Hazeh, Nimshach Atzmus, and Nechi. Through doing mitzvahs today in Elam Hazeh, he gets Atzmus. Idea is a Yuetz LeHaMitzvah even the Hayim. This causes, it's like a double Hayim. Through thinking about the Nechi Mitzavka is only Hayim, he'll have the mitzvahs even of today. That every day, Torah mitzvahs will be by him. Yeah, that's the hesber in the Maimer. It concludes in the Maimer, it continues in the Maimer. The calls who this is all the way things should be. If it's not so, and the person doesn't think about this reality of a Nechi Mitzavcha Hayim, his bitterness and his happiness is from concepts from this world. Then the godly spark which is in him and in the Shoma is engulfed in Nefesh Habaymis. He's exiled in the Nefesh Habaymis, animal soul. Like a sheep is quiet, silent in front of the ones that cheer it. She has no say. This it says, b'mishpat tpada. How do you redeem the neshama from this golus and Nefesh Habaymis? Is b'mishpat tpada. Come on, Siftes. Now the Rebbe is going to zoom in on this part of the Maimer, the Alter Rebbe, till there's the Maimer of the Alter Rebbe. So he says, now he's going to zoom in to ask the question, why do we say that? How can you make it only when you think about the fact that through mitzvahs you get atzmus? Al elam is only or levad, elam habo is only a ziv. And when you have atzmus, only through doing mitzvahs today. Even if you're going to think about it, so does it say the shayla? Okay. Say, you're right. So even if the mitzvahs are not like a new thing, even if it's old, he could do them with a chayis. He brings in the order 14. It's not as fresh and as exciting as the first time he heard it, but it could be exciting. It could be in such a case that this should be more important than anything else. Why does he say that the only way, but if it's not so, if he doesn't realize that it's, he's going to be that's certain, that if the mitzvahs are not new and fresh in his eyes, that he doesn't see that the Eibusher commanded him today, then it's for sure that his bitterness and his happiness is from the worldly matters. That's the first question. The Churah, why do you have to say, why is this a Tanai Ikri to make it, in order to be, not to have Chayis, Mediris and simple Yon El that shouldn't be the Ikri, you have to have Cholim Menach Kachadoshim.
What does that mean?
That every day it should be new in your eyes, that you should see like the Eibusher gave it to you today. That's the only way to get out of the getting excited about worldly matters. There's other ways. Even if it's not a new thing, you can also get excited about the mitzvahs. That's one question. The Gamter Lovi, and also we have to understand Mashkosu Ba'Maimer, what it says in the Maimer Shabbat, Lovi Lebechol Yemi Benecha Kachadoshim, that how do you come to this state that every day Torah mitzvah should be like new? Who are you days? One is Ba'id Anechem Mitzav Hayim. Is only by thinking to the fact that who's commanding the mitzvahs? Atzmus is commanding the mitzvahs, and Shaydei Kima Mitzvah Be'elam Hazeh, by doing mitzvahs in this world, Hayim, Hu Hamshach Ze Atzmus Anechi. Why do you need such a deep understanding in the mitzvahs in order to make it a new thing? That through mitzvahs you're mamshach atzmas. Which is much greater than the mitzvahs, the mitzvahs which we get in the world to come, which is only a ray. Why do you have to go so far? Since the Hano is a great pleasure. He brings over here from Derech Tzeisecha, and here he's going to say over here that it's even greater than Gan Eden. Elam Haba over here is including also more than Gan Eden. Over there he speaks about the mutal, the dain of Leisel Omud Ose. You get the Achir, that it's worth it to go through all the suffering of Gehenim just to cut the Geshmak of Gan Eden, which is such a great tainuk. Especially that the meaning of Elam Haba over here, Gan Eden, is including also Elam Matchiyah. Shagilu Shiyibel Matrio, Nile Harbi Yes Magil Gan Eden, which the revelation was going to be in El Matrio is much greater than the revelation even in Gan Eden. So why do we have to? So that's enough to make a person get excited about mitzvahs. Harigama idea is bonus, but is Chara mitzvahs Be'elam Habo. It's supposed to say over here, Yilchai is God of Bekima mitzvahs. That's what it says by you, Be'elam Habo. Yeah. Okay, but here it still says Be'elam Hazeh for some reason. Yeah. Here it says that for some reason they kept it like the original. Whatever. Anyways, it's a side point. You have a great chayis and kima mitzvahs. The Maimer says, but in order that the mitzvah should be new, and have a chayis in it, you shouldn't look at it like old things. In order to get this chayis and mitzvahs in a way that should be chadoshim, should be new, you have to have the understanding in the inyan and thinking in, contemplating the inyan of Aneichim Mitzav Chayim, which Davka today we have atzmas. In Mashen Geloslo we don't have it. The advantage of today doing mitzvahs over the Tainug and Gan Eden and even of Elam Atchiyah. So the Rebbe is asking, for a person realizes that he's going to have a schar blik vuli. Schar Gan Eden is tiny Gan Eden state. Is tiny Gan Eden sof.
In Armen shall sein wieder
Ich denke, das ist der Lashon.
die Zimmersammeln.
Die Zimmersammeln, die
kommt zu ein Show in Gemeinden. Also Menschen leben 1000 Jahre in der Mikro so schön mit allen Missions, mit allen Sachen, alle Technologien normal. Kommt als ich sagte, aber vom Band das wir sagen, ist sehr exciting.
It gets very pulls the person.
Das Arzt versteht mir nicht, Arzt.
Kannst doch am Geist, dann sag was nicht kadosh.
Was?
This is enough to make it kachadosh. Just like something new. Gives you, of course, there's two things of it. That today the Eibush is commanding.
Das ist doch kein Chayes Gordel.
Nein,
Das kann nicht sein kein Chayes Gordel.
Chayes Kadosh.
Das kann sein Kula Kadosh.
Yeah.
They love the B'chol Yom Kadoshim. Third line at the top. There's must be in the Nechim Chayim. So he asks, why do you need? Since Taina of Ganei, Taina Gadol B'Yeser, so even the Chaim Still Mabo is enough to get excitement. Chayes Gadol, they start saying.
Das kann nur sein Kadosh, wenn man sagt, dass es eben nicht kommt, steht nicht kommt zu sagen.
Der Rebbe verwasst nicht.
Der Rebbe fragt nur, hier Chayes Gadol käme mit. Sagt nicht der Isi ist es.
But he asks on the question why it says in the Maimer that only the way to come to B'chol Yom Kadoshim, when a person gets excited about mitzvahs. That's a new thing. Is only to think about a Nechim Tzaf Hayim. I've done fleck to the kasha. He starts off with Gamter Lovin, Mashakos about Maimer, they love the Chil Minach Kadosh, but there's once been a Nechim Tzaf Hayim. So the Kim is Bilam Mazeo, Hayim, I'm sure Satzmus Hanechi. שהוא נייל ארבי יסב שחיים זביל מבוא שהוא רק זיו. לחור, קים שנו ותיים זיו שחיים ביל מבוא תיים גודל בייסר, הרי גם את איזבון זביל שחיים מיצס, יהיו לחייס גודל בקים המיצס, will get very excited. You're saying it doesn't say the word, doesn't use the word Chadashim. The fail in the Shaila, it doesn't use. I heard what is that? Study. What felt to is ad kedei kach in mitzvahs that it's supposed so important that it should be Chadashim. But I hear what you're saying. But the Rebbe is going to say that the only way to have b'chol yiminach kachadashim is only through atzmus. There's no other way. In other words, that you could have thought differently, and the Rebbe is going to be masbir v'yuvan zeh b'hagdim. But the Rebbe is going to say two levels. First, he's going to say that even save should be enough, and he's going to come to a chiddush that you need atzmus. Fine. V'yuvan zeh b'hagdim. This is siv bezi. V'yuvan zeh b'hagdim sheb'chtei sheb'chol yiminach kachadashim and the gil b'china shalamayla mishinuyim. In order that by a person he should have a chayes and mitzvah, it should be something new, is dafka through a level which is higher than change. Why? Because if you have change, it's not new anymore. The fact that it's always new means it's higher than change. Since the world is time and space, Shazman or Shino, which the Ikri word of here is man, Shazman or Shino change, or Chembech, Desh, B'cholim, Yibinach Kachadoshim, or the Agil there in Sof Shalamaylam is Slapshus Beilamis. In order there should be a revelation, in order there should be a feeling of Torah mitzvahs that's new, is only through Ein Sof, which is higher than the worlds. Eira Saveth. Why? Because the air which comes into the world relates to the world and comes according to the world. It comes according to the Nivraim, which is Zman HaMakom. So the air becomes also Mugbal. Like he says right away. The air, Amislabish Be'elam Zerem Amalei, Hu Bobat Sir, Mugbal Achsen, the Vrem Fiyarkom. Comes a limited way according to the Nivra to give it life, according to what it could handle. Ukamayim Razal, like Hazal tell us, man, Nefesh Malas Aguf, Kach HaKadosh Baruch Hu Malas Ilomi. Just like the Neshama fills the body in a way that it comes according to the Kamesh Chayis Nefesh HaMislai Tachshes. The Kamesh Chayis Nefesh HaMislabish Ba'aguf. Chulav Eivni Vori Aguf. Just the Chayis Nefesh comes in clothing the body. It comes according to the limbs of the body. The B'chol Eiver HaChayis L'fi Erkei comes accordingly. It comes limited. Al Deraz of HaChayis De'elim Shnimshach Be'er Mamalei. Zeh Shakadosh Baruch Hu Mamalei Seilomei Shachayis Chol Nivra L'fi Erkei. The same thing is regard to the Chayis of the world that comes. Chayis of the Eibush comes into the world, which comes according to every Nivra, what he could handle. I'm supposed to stop over here. That it's also mugbal. That also the world, which is makom muzman, which comes that mitzader mamali, is impossible that the world should change and not be mugbal in zman makom. What's the mekolshkin? The chayis is mugbal. Mekolshkin, the elam itself is mugbal. Yeah. Even the clothes together. Yeah. What says the skanamos and. So what's the Mikol Shekin? What's the Mikol Shekin? Yeah.
Gedon von Welt ist man mokim. Aber in Chais Cholim und Lefi Erkoi ist mit Kolschken, also Bechlolus oder a Yachas zur Welt, und Welt ist man mokim. Das ist
And the Pshat, in the Reisach bringt the Chais Kloli.
Was? Nein, Chais Kloli.
So what's the Mikol Shekin? Over here it's the Mashman that
Martin, maar doch sich mit Samsam zu jeder einem, zu dem, zu Schai, mit da, Porte Eilom, ist bechlolus oder Scheich, a Yachas zu Eilom.
Aha.
Oder Chai zu Eilom, also Gede, was man mokim, oder Kloli.
This is Mikol Shekin.
Das Tagesstell, da gehen weiter.
Noch gehen wir ein lange Schuhe.
Okay, da geht das man. Diese Mitzadele Mamali, sie ja sie beim in der Mal Manamot.
Und der Mamali Mon, das soll sein, das war Mokim. So everything is der Mamali. Not a gemeint of the Welt allein.
Eilo Malay, die Mali Mot, das soll sein Manamot.
It's not the Pshat that there's the Chais of the world and then there's the world itself.
Jeder Eilo, das Verlust, das ist man, das Mitzad Mamali kann nicht sein, das sein Rachit Manamot.
Slan, reis allein ist.
כל ניבו לפי ערכו, יש בטח באופן כללי, או תשחס הזמן לא מוקים.
So gesagt, größere Chide, sagen Kolsche kommen, dann geht's ein Klo. Was?
Aber, als ich mit Samt jeder Prat ist, jachas kloli, was Welt ist
Mugbel.
Ist Mugbel. Ma doch, als mit Samt zu mehr kommen, da jeder לפי ערכו, ist באופן kloli, jachas zu Gidre Welt ist sicher.
Aber wenn er bringt in der Order, bringt der Lahoim ist sehr, Shagam Chais HaKloli, Shenim Samson, auf Even Nevori Aguf, mit Kolm kommen, der Kloß Aguf von Neise Chais Psori. Das ist aber eine Kuda. Shagam, als Alaf, als wird nicht Mugbul für Even Nevori, von das aber wird Fertig Aguf. Wird
Samt jeder לפי ist nicht kloli, ist kloli.
Ja, aber er sagt...
Kloli ist Cheras, wie Seber.
Ja, das ist klar, das man sagt.
Das ist Chilik von Lamato bis Lamato Seber ist der Seber und Lamato ist אפילו der Chais Kloli oder Scheiches. Nicht was...
In Nefesh Aguf. Aber es da sagt, dass in der Mamale ist da zwei Sachen nicht. Ist das. Nee, ich sag, in Guve Nefesh ist a größere Chiddisch der Era, als der Era Nefesh ist Mugbel auf Even Aguf, was, oder ist mehr Poshet, als a Mugbel. Chais Aguf ist a größere Chiddisch, als wird Mugder in der Chais Klolitz, sie verkehrt, der Chais Prot ist a größere Chiddisch.
Das ist ein Chiddisch in Bein.
Das ist ein Chiddisch in Bein.
Also kann man es kloli.
Von das ist der nice auf Jahre Aguf, ja.
Weil es ist, der Chais nicht an Niveau, es ist nicht, dass ich will Meiro.
Right.
Sei Mamschik.
Okay, wir gehen weiter. Okay. וגם שגיע מאיר מסלבש באילום, איני נתפס בגדרי אילום, פרקת הקשה לחורה, אז אפילו מצד עיר ממלא, וזוק מצד עיר ממלא, it's impossible that it should be in the world of something which is higher than time and space. The air מסלבש in the world, the air that comes enclosed into the world, doesn't become part and parcel of the world. It's higher than the world. It says in there, what does it mean, ein kodesh kavaya? There explains, Kama Kadishun Inun. There's many holinesses. But V'leis Kodesh Kavaya, there's no one as holy as Avaya. What does it mean? The Chiddush b'Kodesh Avaya, what's the Chiddush in the holiness of Avaya is, Shagam Shum Melubash Ba'Nivroyim, although he's enclosed in the Nivre, Umachayes, B'Pnimiyusom, and he gives them life in an inner way that they live off it, that they live in their way according to what they are. From it, still he's removed from them. Regular Kadishin are removed totally. But here is the two opposites. He's there, he's enclosed in the Nivra, he's according to the Nivra, and still he's removed from them. So L'churi, even Mitzadir Mamale, which is enclosed in the Nivroim, is not nitfas in it. He doesn't get farchapt in it. This is not, you can't define him by this. If so, even Mitzad Mamale should have been able to break away from the limitations of time and space. That's the question. Yishleima, the Rebbe says that according to this pshat in Kama Kadishin of Leis Kodesh Kavaya, Yishleima Zel Pirsh, this is also the meaning, Hu Mekeme Shaleilam Ben Elam Mekeme. That the Eibush is the place of the world, and the world's not his place. What does this mean? that he's the place of the world, he's the source of the world, he's the mocker of the world. This is referring to Mamali. That brings the order from Sinfachkir from the Alter Rebbe. Lepirish had Mazokin, Mokim Mupchinas Mamaliklam. Vishom Shalafi Pirzeh Gam Hu Mekem Shleilam Koyal Mamali. So according to this, Hu Mekem Shleilam 29 is also referring to Mamali. Say Bazay Mekem Shleilam as Hu Mekem Shleilam as their Mokim Machtis Shaftis Machtis Hu Mekem Shleilam as their Mokim from the Zach. So to say Mamal Hu Mechayes Eilam Agit Leben to the belt. He gives life to the world. The Afa Pekin is still Ein Eilam Mekeme. This is not. You can't define him by the world. You can't say this is all what he's about. He's giving life to the world. Mam Gimel also brings this word. He says over here in the interesting word in the order 30. 26. The in Kodesh Kavayo Gam Beira Seviv. Shemiesim Havim Mekomkim Kodesh Muvdal. Yeshlevar Achiz Jeilam Mekeme Gam Lepir Shekoyal Seviv. Ah?
What the Chiddush Baseiber? You got the Chiddush as a camera is Memal. Yeah, a camera is Memal. The Chiddush as a camera is with Samson.
You could say it like this. If he's who became Mishalayim, that he's creator of the world, he's the maker of the world, you could think that this is all in, that he creates a world. There's a Mokra Welt, there's a Beide, even save it, yeah. So, and that's the Chiddush, no. That don't define him by this. This is not who he is. This is not the main point of godliness that he creates worlds. He creates, but that's not who he is. And this is true even in Seviv. The Mamali is also not nitfas. But the question, why can he break the rules, make chidushim, break the zman amokim? So he says, this is how we say that the air stays poshet, even after it comes into the world. That's the way he sees himself. That he's not mugder, he's pshitis, and he's not mugder in the gdarim of zman amokim. This is the way he relates to the world, and the way was that it should make a world, the world. It says that's the way he reflects to the world, the way he shows himself to the world. The chayz of the world is limited to the world. And therefore, concludes what he started in the beginning. In order to make Inyan in the world, there should be which that's a Shalom Mailam Izman, higher than time, that is always new, why the Gila Era Sev, Dafka through the revelation of Era Seviv. Mashka?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you, that's why I was doing the signal.
Fine.
Clean glass?
Yes.
Hine, im gehen ein bisschen weiter? Yeah.
That's a clean glass.
It's clean.
Okay, I believe you. Wait, this one?
This one.
Wait, it's that one.
Fine. Hine, im gehen ein bisschen weiter. We'll go a little further. It's up to the Elam.
Kahn.
Sicher steht die Zähne.
Okay, we'll go a little further. 5 minutes. Okay. Hine, mikim shegadri el mokum zman. Since we say that the get of the world is time and space, move on, it's understood. It's not so simple what we said before, that there should be nimshach, and the world comes through save. Why? Because the world on its own is time and space. Moving understood this, that through save comes into the world something which is higher than time and space. Who is the pshat that the world is but loses itself because of the revelation of the bleak vuldic light of Hashem, which is higher than the world. The world can't handle it, so to speak, and then the world loses itself. But just like will, will is a anecdote, a marshal for Seviv. The reason why Ratzon has the power that it could rule over all the limbs that should do against their nature is because they lose themselves to the will. They lose themselves to the will. They lose themselves, not because they take in, they put themselves aside because of Ratzon. But since the concept of everyday mitzvah should be like no, the teichen is that you should have life in the mitzvahs, like in something new. The chayis upnimi, what's chayis? Chayis is something internal. לכן אין דלמייל מזמנם שמאיר באדם ושהדזה יהיה בנח כחדושים צריך להיסץ בפנימיס. Therefore the concept of higher than time which shines in the person which through that will be new has to be בפנימיס. Since you want there should be a chais in the mitzvahs. That's the whole point of b'nach kachadoshim. You should be excited about it. You should have a life in it. You should be alive in it. This should be his whole being. Therefore, that's pnimi. So the of alamayel mazman has to also be b'pnimius. In order to have constantly b'chadoshim, he has to have that the in of lamayel mazman should be b'pnimius. V'lochein. And this is keich hazeh sheb'chol b'nach kachadoshim. Therefore, this he answers the question that he asked in Eis Aleph, that who is going to give the power that it should be b'chol b'nach kachadoshim? Who's zeh she'anechi mitzav chayim? Is only in the fact that anechi mitzav chayim. Anechi misha anechi shalamayla gam yiseviv. It's dafka from anechi, which is higher than seviv. If it would come from seviv, it would break the world. Why? Well, you know, Eira blikvul asher deira seviv mugder bageder the blikvul. Eira blikvul, that's the sheish of Eira seviv. That's Eira blikvul. I guess he's speaking about lifnat tzimtzum Eira blikvul. Is who mugder bageder the blikvul is still limited. In the limit of the definition, he's restricted in the he's defined by the definition of blikvul. V'lochin zeh shein safely spashtus. This that we say that Eira blikvul is everywhere. Vonim to begila b'chol mokim. He's even revealed everywhere. Mitzideis is the way he sees it. Other places the Rebbe says even the way he sees the world, it's everything. He's revealed everywhere. Gam be'el mazagashmi. That's when mitzad zeh she'Eira ain't sof. That's because he's ain't sof. Avayin zeh leim has nothing to do with the world. And there's two ways. What are we saying that the Eira blikvul is not shaykh to the world? Or that the world doesn't feel it at all. Or that it does feel it. And through that the Ein Sof, Eira Ein Sof comes into the world, that the world should feel it. Something which is higher than time and space comes into it. But it's in such a way, how could it be nirgash? How could it be felt in the world? Something which is higher than time and space is only in a way that the world should lose itself. In order to have the fusion of the two opposites, that the Eira blikvul should come to the world in such a way that it's internal. It's only through Atzmas, which has no definitions, no descriptions. Doesn't have the description of Gul, no definition, no Hagdor, no, how do you say Hagdor in English? I don't know exactly. How do you the definition of limitations? So Mameli could break the limitation of a limitation. The Leib Gedra Blikvul is also not limited with the definition of Blikvul. Therefore, you can make them come together. Therefore, through Kech Ha'atzmes, through revealing Kech Ha'atzmes, if she reveals himself, so to speak, by the fusion, by the putting together, Blikvul and Gvul. You see, that L'mayla Mazman should come into this man. In such a way, when you have Anechi Mitzavcho, when you have the revelation of Anechi, then it's able to be L'mayla Mazman should come into the world b'pnimius. Fine.
So the mention of this Shiur here is responsible for your Balei Moledes, Chaim Brand.
Shkech. Stans Atzlacha Bracha.
Right?